Okay, and we're back, and I realized after watching the last thing that there's a lot more we can talk about about flash audio. So this is going to go a little bit more into detail. I pulled up a file that I did. This is also another one of my children's videos. This was Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is already posted on my other channel. I will put a link up. But I still have the file, even though it's fully published. And this is an example of where I did use multiple sounds. This audio, this layer here, audio, this is the main, the chicken singing, or the lead vocalist, I guess, which in this little movie is either the chicken or the horse. And then these are some extra things that I put in also, and I've layered them. So Flash does allow you to layer. You know, you're allowed to have overlayer sounds, overlap them, overlayer them. And I think these are going to be, this looks like this is the laughter. Another thing about Flash, if you want to isolate the audio, just like with this eye hides the visual, like, okay, for instance, if you press this eye on any of these, like here's a lamb, I'm going to go ahead and press the eye, and the lamb disappeared, and then it comes back over there by the house. Look, disappears, comes back. Or grass, here, the grass will be easier to see. Ooh, there go, where's the grass? Okay, so you bring it back. Just like you can isolate and remove, visually remove, that eye also works to mute the track, or you could do it to isolate the track. So here I'm going to give you an example. Here's my main audio, and I'm going to use that eye thing to mute this and this. So nothing, you know, disappears because there's no visual representation of it on the stage area, and it doesn't disappear up here. But watch, now you'll just hear the chicken sing. I'm going to go ahead and press play. Laugh and play, it made the chip. Okay, now I'm going to play that same clip, and I'm going to put in one laugh. I'm going to unmute, which is, it's the eye, so it's like you don't want to see it, but really you don't want to hear it. It's really mute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take that eye off. So this time you'll hear the chicken and one of the laugh tracks. Go ahead and do that. Laugh and play, it made. And then I'm going to show you the other laugh track. I'm going to mute that and unmute the second laugh track. So you heard the first one. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Laugh and play, it made. It's that lower. So I'm going to go ahead and mute it so you can really hear just that. I love that low laugh. And I got that from some free site with free audio effects. And I've named these audio effects, but then I'm going to take it off and put it all together and laugh and play, it made. Okay, so that's the example. Now, this is a case where maybe, obviously, this is much, I'm sure I've already done this. So we're going to take a look deeper into these audio tracks, these little snippets here. One thing, too, what I like about Flash, before we go deeper into there, you can also you have tabs up here. Because I have my letter Z, that was the last tutorial, was on the audio and letter Z. And then I just went ahead and opened Mary Had a Little Lamb, and you can keep them both open. Now, all the Premiere, you can't do that. My audio editing program, Cakewalk, Sonar, you can't do that. When you open a new program, a new file, the other one automatically shuts down. That's one of the things I really, really like about Flash. You can have as many tabs going as you want. Another thing is you can swap library items. I'm going to cover that really quick before we get any further into this thing. So here we have the letter Z and Mary Had a Little Lamb. I have two files open. If you go over to your library, over here to the right, there's a pull down, and I'm in Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I can access the library from the letter Z. So I just pull down that menu and I get letter Z. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull something on stage. I'm going to unlock a layer so I can put it somewhere. I'm going to select a frame, and I'm going to hit F6. Just going to grab this red bird. Okay, there, a red bird. That's a red bird from the, this is actually from Colors of the World video, I think. So the red bird is on the stage. So now when I go back to my library for Mary Had a Little Lamb, the red bird is in there. Because it's been used on stage, it automatically puts it in my Mary Had a Little Lamb menu. So I'm going to select that and delete it. So it's not on the stage anymore, but it still remains in my library. So you can just grab stuff, you can just take a frame and grab stuff from another project and just drag them all on stage, and then go back to your main project library and they'll all be there, and then delete them all. But you'll still have them in the library to work with. So now I don't have to go to the other library. It's in my library. I can just drag them out on stage if I want to use them. But I don't. Okay, so now we're going to go further into examining this audio. I can see that I've done some, you can see that if you look at this, this is way louder. I mean, it's way louder. Look how small the lines in the audio are on this, the main vocal. And even the first laugh, the little low grumbly tee-hee laugh, the lines are bigger. And then these are just huge. So this was recorded at a really high level. That'll happen. You have multiple audio tracks, and they're not all their levels aren't gonna be right. Now you can go back and take them back out of Flash, but usually on something like this, I'll just edit them right in Flash. So this is a good example to show you. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this, come down to Edit, which I'm going to show again real quickly on CS4. It's over here, and it's your little pencil thing. So you go click that to open up your audio editing box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Here comes the audio editing panel or box. You can already see, look how much I've lowered it. See, I already did that. This line, as we discussed in the last video, is the volume. So you can take, and the whole line move up or the whole line move down. You don't have to just use these for fades. So I'm going to say cancel again because I don't want to change it. I must have tweaked this for a long time to get it perfect. I also wanted to show you how these endings go. As you can see here, I've cut that off using a keyframe. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here for a second and talk about this. So if I move this keyframe, see, there's more audio there. That's one of the ways you can shorten the audio. I'm going to say undo, Control Z. Control Z again. Okay, so that'll jump it back there. That's another way you can control this, the length of your audio clip. But there's also a way to do it within the within this editing window here. So I'm back in the editing window, and you can see up here this line. There is a line. It's kind of hard to see because it's right in the middle of one of those big chunks of sound, that big sound wave. But there is a line there. And that is the line that I created on the timeline. It does show up in the audio editing mode as well. But there's another way when you're in there. This is it. This is the way that you can shorten it in audio editing mode. If you move this around, it won't go any more that way because it's the end of the clip. But I could also just move it around like this. I'm going to cancel out of this because I believe that's what I've done on this one. So I'm going to come down to this other laugh and let's see how we have edited that into the mix. Okay. Yes, I have. See, I thought it looked like it just looked weird, cut off. I have shortened it, but not a whole lot. But I'm going to go ahead and just shorten it a lot more. I'm going to take this, because this is rather short. This is the whole clip right here. It's short to begin with. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it a lot. I'm going to move it all the way in there, and then it's darkened where it's not at, you know, where you've eliminated the sound, and it's still highlighted or showing in where this is what's left over. And now I'm going to show you also, you can play it within editing mode. If you come down here, it will play. It's going to play the whole thing though, I think, or let's see. Okay, there you can test it. It'll only play the whole thing though. If you want a really long one, you don't want to do that because you're going to have to listen to the whole thing every time. So let's try move it a little bit this way and see how it sounds. It's funny. Okay, I'm going to put it back like this and say okay for a minute, and look, it changed up there too. Here's the identical clip because I do it twice. This is how long it was, and now this is how long it is because we've condensed it down. Okay, I'm going to go back into editing mode because there's one more thing I want to show you. You can come at this both ways. It's not just the back end, you can shorten it. You can come in this way too. And let's go ahead and, so this is the beginning. So if you don't like you made a mistake in the beginning, say, and you want to get rid of that, and you only want to keep the end piece, then you can go like this. Okay, let me hear it again. It's so funny every time. Oh, I don't want to touch those lines. Let's see, let's try it again. And as you can see too, I keep trying to touch those lines. I have changed the volume in here because this was also louder. You know, you can tell just by looking at it. I mean, look up here. This is, you know, the shorter, the smaller the sound waves, the lower the volume. And you can see that these are the smallest, second, and then these are huge. So that's how I went in, and I also, you know, lowered the volume. The volume's been lowered, and I cut off a little bit of that end trail there. I'm going to say okay, and then that puts it back the way it was. So I hope I've helped you learn a little bit more about audio editing in Flash. With these other things, I was looking around a little bit, and like these event sounds, you might want to use those for rollovers. That's the other one that you probably might get into and use at some point. But for the most part, again, Stream is going to it'll keep it synced with what's happening on stage. Every time I've tried, in the beginning when I first started using Flash, I experimented around with a lot of these other sounds, and some weird things were happening. So even for, you know, these are sort of event sounds, but I think yeah, they're still Stream. I didn't change them to an event. So you can experiment around with that, but for your best bet, if you just want to go with one type of audio in Flash, stick with the Stream, especially if you need it to stay synced up with what's happening in the stage area. That's the end of our tutorial today. I will put a link to the finished movie of the Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's already posted. And we are going to continue on with some more Flash lessons as we complete the letter Z, and you can come along with me as I complete the letter Z, and then you'll be able to see it actually posted on my other YouTube channel as a finished product. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Until next time.